Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So for today's look, I'm doing an office-friendly drugstore makeup tutorial. I wanted to do something using all drugstore products that was easy to follow and that you could wear to the office or throughout the day. It will make you look done, but won't make you look like you're wearing too much makeup. Everything I'm using in this video I found at Target, other than my eyebrow pencil. That's the one product that's not drugstore because I just haven't found an eyebrow product or an eyebrow pencil from a drugstore that I'm super crazy about, so I didn't want to recommend it and steer you in the wrong direction if I can't stand behind it. Also, my brushes are not drugstore, but I'm kind of going to show you what brushes I'm using throughout the look and explaining a little bit about them so that you can go get something similar, or if you have something similar, you can use it. Also, before I start, makeup, like any artistic industry, is going to be different from person to person. Everyone's going to do things differently. Everyone's going to like different products. So I just want you to know that there's no really right or wrong way to do things. Do what works for you. Some people may not like the products I'm using, and that's okay. Everyone's skin's different. Everyone has their personal preference. So just make sure you do what you like and what you are comfortable with. So I hope that you can kind of, if you don't want to follow this whole look, I hope that you can pick pieces and kind of incorporate them into your daily routine or a makeup look. And I hope that I gave you enough detail to where you could follow along but still gain some knowledge about the products and why I'm using them, the brushes and things like that. Now that I got that out of the way, if you want to see how I created this look, just keep watching. Okay, so let's get started. I do already have my eyebrows done and my foundation on. I'm going to make a separate video all about eyebrows, so for this one I just wanted to concentrate on this drugstore makeup look, and then I'll go into eyebrows for a separate video. Let's start with primers, face primers. It's not absolutely necessary to wear a primer. I don't wear one every day, but it does help to kind of smooth out your skin and fill in any pores and fine lines to kind of help your foundation go on a little smoother and make it last a little longer throughout the day. I'll wear it, if I'm going out at night or if I have a special occasion. The one I've been using lately is the NYX Photo Loving Primer. This is a duplicate for the Smashbox one. They also do have this green one. And this will kind of help if you have red skin. Foundation. There's two foundations, well actually three foundations I'm going to tell you about today. These are some of my favorites. I do have problematic skin and some scarring, so I need something personally that's buildable and I can make it more full coverage. Lately I've been reaching for this Revlon Color Stay. I'm loving this foundation. It really does last you all day, especially if you set it with powder, and it is very buildable. So if I'm having, more breakouts or whatever it may be, I can put on a few layers and it still look like I don't have anything caked on really. So I do like that one, and I'm loving the L'Oreal True Match Lumi, which I'm sure you've already heard about. It's amazing. I mean, it makes your skin look so glowy and dewy. So if you have normal to dry skin, this would probably be a perfect foundation for you. If you have oily skin, I'm not sure that you'll be a fan of this because it just might be a little too dewy for you if you already have oily skin. They do make a regular True Match, which I heard is awesome as well. I just haven't tried it yet. So if you have oily skin, just kind of go towards that one. It's a smaller bottle and I think it has a twist top to it. But these two foundations I'm absolutely loving. I think they were $9.99 and they're amazing. I wish I could wear this every day, but again, it doesn't have as much coverage as I would like for my skin. But when I'm having a good day and not many breakouts or anything, I will use this one right away. Now I'm going to move on and do the whole rest of my face on camera and kind of explain to you as I'm doing everything. I'm trying not to edit this video too much and kind of showing you step by step as I'm going and explaining a lot. Okay, so first I'm taking this Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and then I'm just going to use my finger to kind of blend it in. This will even out your eyelids and make your eyeshadow stick and last a little longer. It's so important to prime your eyelids. I can't stress it enough. I picked this one because it has some matte shades in it, so that's really important when you're doing an eye look, is to have some matte shades so that you can use that as your transition and kind of blend it out from the lid. Mattes are just much better for this, and it'll help make it look a little smoother. So these three bottom ones are the matte ones. And I'm going to take my MAC 224 brush. So I'm taking these two colors and I'm going to buff this into my crease. And this is your transition color. Then I'm going in with the MAC 217 brush. And I'm using this brush. It's still kind of fluffy, but the bristles are a little more dense. So this will help apply a little bit more color, but still a soft application for blending and smoothing. I'm going in with this kind of taupey color. It has a tiny bit of shimmer to it, which is okay. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that and buff that into the lower crease area. Next, I'm using my one product that I tend to use for all of my eyeshadow looks, which I'm sure you've seen me use before, and that's my NYX Jumbo Pencil. And I'm taking a flat brush. Now this is the 242 brush. By the way, do you guys like my new background? I decided to like switch my room around because I felt like the white background was like way too boring. So I just kind of switched my table around so that you could see the other side of me. Give you something a little more interesting to look at. Then I'm going in with this pigment from Maybelline. It's the Color Tattoo pigment. It's a powder. This color is in Barely Brazen. And then this is the front. I was very pleasantly surprised by this pigment. It is so pretty. So then I'm going in with this flat brush. You need a denser brush that's flat in order to pack on your shadow on the lid, so that's why this brush is handy. So anyway, I'm taking this setting spray by NYX. I have both of them. I have the dewy finish and I have the matte finish. And I use this in place of like my MAC Fix Plus spray, and this is just kind of like to wet the brush in order for the pigment to go in on a little more shiny and more intense. So again, just like wet your brush with it. And then I'm taking the pigment and kind of tapping it into the lid. And then picking up the product on my brush. I'm just pressing that on. It's so pretty. I'm gonna go in with just a little bit. I just spilled it. Just gonna go in with a little bit more of that. Then I'm going in with this fluffy brush again, and I'm just going to blend it. Now I'm not doing eyeliner for this look. It is optional. You can do it if you want to. I just figured I wanted to make this as easy and quick as possible. My go-to mascara is already this CoverGirl Lash Blast mascara. I also have tried the L'Oreal Voluminous one, which a lot of people like as well. Just for me personally, it gets a little too clumpy on my eyelashes, so I found that this one, I can put as many layers as I want on. I usually do about 3 or 4 actually, and it's still... When you're putting on your mascara, if you wiggle it up, like wiggle the wand up as you go, it kind of helps to like separate your lashes a little bit. Okay, now on to concealer. I really like this Maybelline Fit Me concealer. It's the same one I used to prime my lid. This one is in Sand. I also really like the Extreme Lumi Maybelline like highlighting pens a lot as well, but I feel like they don't give me enough coverage underneath. So what I'll do first is I'll take the one, the buff one, and it has a slight pink undertone to it, so I'll put that on first. The pink like orange base to it will kind of help to counteract any dark, like bluish dark circles you may have under your eyes. So I'll go ahead and do that first. And it helps to kind of bring your concealer down just a little bit further underneath your circles to kind of help it blend a little bit better. And then I'm just going to take my beauty blender. They do... I look crazy. They do sell these kind of sponges at drugstores. I just don't have one. I didn't want to buy one since I already had this. It does the same thing. Making sure it's damp, and then I just spray a little setting spray on it, and then I'm going to use that to kind of blend in that concealer. Then I'm going to go in with that the other Maybelline concealer that fit me and just do another layer just for a little bit more coverage. I don't have to use a sponge for this. Sometimes if I'm in a rush or I'm doing my makeup in my car, don't tell anybody, I will just use my foundation brush to kind of blend this in. I'll show you the foundation brush I use as well, because I forgot to do that earlier. Again, just blend that out. And it might look a little light to you, but that's just because I like my under eyes to be a little lighter. But if you're highlighting, you should be contouring. So that contour is going to help to kind of balance out this highlight. Also, when we go to highlight the other areas, it'll look a little less bright. So this is the brush I use for my foundation. It's the Sigma F84. It's the angled kabuki brush. It's the bristles. They also have a flat, like one that's more flat, which I like a lot too, which is what I was using, but I lost it, so I've been using this one and it's been working fine for now. If you want to use this to blend out your concealer, you just kind of like press. Now I'm going to go into highlighting. This cream part of the highlight is optional. You don't have to do this. You can just go straight into using a lighter colored powder to set everything in your highlight areas. So again, this is optional. You don't have to do it. I'm going to go in with the illuminating pen thing, but I'm going to use Ivory. It's more of a neutral color. And just put a little bit more here. Center of your chin. Right above your lip. So I take this sponge, and again, I just press and roll in these areas. These pens are very similar to the MAC Prep and Prime highlighting pens. They have a yellow based one and a pink based one. Again, this probably looks super bright to you right now, but once we go in and contour, it's going to look a lot more even. Now that that's done, I'm going to set it. I found this Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder in Buff Beige, which is this one right here. And I actually like it a lot for setting. If you want to use it as like a setting highlight powder, just get one that's a little bit lighter than your skin tone and then use it this way. So I'm using this to set my prior highlight, but if you don't use the cream to highlight and you want to go in with just powder, you can just use it and you put it over your foundation and it'll act as a setting highlight color. So I'm going to take this kind of fluffy brush. It's kind of big. I don't know if you can tell the size difference, but the 224 I was using in the beginning, this is the size difference. Excuse the construction noise. I think my neighbor is doing something. Anyway, and you don't have to use this exact brush to set your highlights or anything. You can use any type of brush, really. You can use something like this or whatever you have that's similar. So I'm just dipping that into the product, knocking off any excess, and then just going in and setting everywhere we put that highlight, that cream highlight. Again, press it in, especially in the under eye area. Make sure you're pressing it in so you're not getting any creasing there. Also, make sure before you set it there isn't any creases in it, because if there's a crease in it and you go to set it, you're just going to set the crease in. Now I'm going to go in with my contour. I was very shocked by this e.l.f. palette, the contouring blush and bronzing powder. I actually really like it. I think it was like $3. And this is what it looks like in the inside. It's very similar. It looks to me very similar to the NARS Laguna duo. Even the packaging's very pretty. Very similar. So for this step, I'm going to use this angled fluffy brush. So, I'm just going to dip it into the product, knock off any excess. And then what I do is I kind of pinch this brush a little bit, and then I go in and just press it on my line. You want to make sure it's at the tip of your ear, and it's a line that goes from the tip of your ear to the corner of your mouth. And then once I do that, then I just blend out at this step. I use the side of my brush to blend it out. And make sure you're blending up and back as opposed to like too forward or down. I already see the difference in my face, like in my cheeks, from the way that looks. Same thing on the other side. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of that on the same brush and just kind of bronze my forehead a little bit. And then you can bronze down here. Then I'm just going to go back through with this big fluffy brush and just kind of blend everything together. Then I'm just going to go in with that blush that it came with. And I'm going to use this MAC brush, 116 it is. And I like to apply my blush right here at the cheekbone. And I'm just kind of softly applying that on. I'll smile just a little bit, like that. Kind of press it in and blend out. Okay, now for the highlight. I'm using the Wet n Wild Fergie collection in Rose Golden Goddess. They do have other colors, so if you don't like the rose gold look, you can get one of the other ones. And then I use this dual fiber brush. You can use a lot of brushes and a lot of things to highlight. This is just what I tend to use a lot. You can use a fan brush, or you can even use your fingers and kind of go in and like rub it on. But I use this and I just kind of dip into the product and I just lightly just buff it into this area. I love highlight, so I tend to go a little overboard sometimes, but you obviously don't have to do this much. Oh, now I'm going to finish the eyes. Sorry. I'm a little all over the place, but that's just because that's how I am. I'm going to take this small shader brush, which is what I use a lot. A lot of brands have these. It's just kind of short. And I'm going to go in with this brown color in this palette. I'm just going to buff that into the lower lash line. %of the time I don't use eyeliner on the bottom. I just use shadow to... And I'm going to use a pencil brush and mix these two colors again that we use in our transition colors. And underneath that shadow I just put on, I'm just going to buff that out so I smooth out the edge. And I'm going to take a bigger pencil brush, use the same size one if you want, and I'm going to dip into this like middle color. It's very light, shimmery, and I'm going to put that in my tear duct to kind of brighten this whole look. Just a little bit. You don't want too much shimmer up there. Then I'm just going to put mascara on my lower lash line. I am so sorry about the construction noise, by the way. Okay, now this step is optional, but I like to do this because I feel like if you're using a lot of powder products, it's nice to kind of set your makeup with a spray at the end to kind of fuse everything together. I'm going to use the NYX Dewy Finish, and I'm just going to spray this over the whole face. And then let it dry. Okay, so now for lips. For this, I tend to go for a lot of like deep berry lips or red or darker colors. So I wanted to make sure I didn't do that for this look, but I am going to show you some of my favorite matte lipsticks. It's the Wet n Wild ones. And again, these are all kind of darker colors, so I just didn't want to do that, but I did want to show them to you. Excuse the messiness of them. I swear I didn't just get them out of the dumpster. I depotted some of them so to put them in my lipstick palette, so a lot of them, the lipstick's just kind of everywhere. But for this look, I'm going to use the NYX Butter Glosses, which I like a lot. This one is Angel Food Cake, and then this one is Apple Strudel. So I'm just going to mix these two together. Lip gloss is really nice too. If you don't want to touch up your lipstick all day, you can just use gloss with a little bit of color in it. Okay, so this is the finished look. I tried to keep it kind of simple and easy for you so that there wasn't too many steps, and it was something that you could do quickly in the morning before work or before you run out for the day. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to leave them below. Also, I want to do a more dramatic eye look with drugstore makeup, so if you have any like requests or suggestions or colors you want me to use, feel free to ask and comment. And as always, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.